Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and in this video I've got 3 replays for you in the tier 10 German tank destroyer, the WOT AUF E100, what we known as the Waffle. So this tank is absolutely fantastic, and just before we start the replays I'll just go through the equipment and crew perks. So we run optics, advanced gun lane drive and the traction system on the Waffle. And on the perks, we run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Steady Aim, Camouflage Expertise, Situational Awareness, Muffled Shot, and Green Thumb. We haven't got the 9th perk filled in, but I would probably say if you were gonna fill that perk slot, I would probably look at going for maybe you can look at it 2 ways. You can either put another camo perk in there like silent driving to completely try and maximize the camo. Obviously the camouflage on the Waffle is kind of non-existent because it's the size of a house, so you could look at it as it is quite a weakness, and so that's one thing you would try and want to improve if you can. Or you could go for snapshot and possibly just improve the accuracy of the gun a little bit more. Not that it really needs it. The accuracy on this is like 0.23, so it's phenomenal really. However, I have noticed it can be a bit troll at times. Some shots just derp or just go sideways when they shouldn't. But overall, yeah, I mean this tank's just phenomenal. And after it had the interclip buff, where the interclip went down from, I'm not sure what it was, it might have been 2.5 seconds, I think 2.5 seconds down to possibly down to 1.2, and you can see it's just absolutely phenomenal. You can dump your clip so quick in this thing. The overall reload is about 30 seconds and not too bad. But I mean it's manageable, but it gives you time to sort of focus on your next target. Like most autoloaders I like to play. A long reload time for me, sometimes I don't consider it too much of a bad thing, because, like I say, give you time to reevaluate. Sometimes what's bad with tanks that have got fantastic DPM is you can go rushing in thinking, oh yes, you can counter this and counter that, and then get caught out quite easily. However, this being the size of the house does make it quite awkward to play. And for me, how I try and play it is I try and play it quite passive. And I mean that in the sense of I sort of, the first thing to do when you sort of make a play or you go to a position, make sure you've got somewhere to hide, because when you get that, when you get the clip off and you're on that long reload, you don't want to be in a situation where A, you're going to get rushed, or B, you're going to be out in the open and completely open to the elements. It's good to make sure that you've got a good sizable enough cover that you can get behind and stay hidden from the enemy and not get shot at. Because the problem with the Waffle is it has absolutely no armor. You will get some lucky bounces if someone's stupid enough to aim at the hull, because the hull is obviously based off of an E100, so it has got some. Has got a little bit. I'm not saying it is fully armored like an E100, but you can get some lucky bounces off the lower plate and stuff like that. However, if you're facing or you're shooting at a Waffle, you shoot the turret, because the turret is it's so weak. It's paper thin. It's like 60 mil of armor. You can go for it quite easily. It has had a buff recently. If I remember rightly, now it's 60 mil. Possibly, I have no idea. Has had that buff up to 50-60 mil of armor, so HE shells won't penetrate, or may struggle to penetrate like they used to. Before, whenever we saw Waffle, they were like, oh, load the HE, just shoot the turret and you'll maximise your damage output. But since it's had that little bit of an armor buff to the turret, it can't get HE penned as much as it used to, unless, you know, I mean, look, if you're British tanks will be fine, because of, you know, British tanks got 140mm penetration, or most of the time got 140mm penetration on their HE shells, so they will go for it. But most other tanks will struggle. So yeah, anyway, you know, it's a bit of a brief overview of the waffle, and yeah, I haven't really talked much about its replay, and it's nearly over, literally one tank left. But we were on Runeberg here, and we just, you know, we predominantly stayed in the city. Reason being because there was a lot of cover, and there's a lot of, you know, there was a lot of opportunities to sort of peek out, reverse out, dump the clip, and get back in. And that's how really you want to sort of play this tank, is the opportunist. So wait until someone's distracted, or if you know you can dump your clip off and you can take one in return. It's basically working on that trade. It's knowing where and when you can trade. That is how, yeah, that's one of the key things to remember with the waffle, is that kind of play style. So we finished the first game there. We come top of the board. We got 5k damage with 441 assists, only 4 kills, picked up the first class. So yeah, that was sort of just a good opportunity to sort of show you a little bit of my play style with the waffle on sort of city maps in that closed area. So yeah, the second replay we're on Duke of Pass, which is a little bit more interesting, because obviously Duke of Pass is it's an open map, but you do have, you have got the odd areas where you can, you know, see a lot of these rocky ridges. These are your sort of places where you want to be around or hiding behind when you're getting off your reload. But yeah, as such, it's an encounter as well, so obviously the spawns are a little bit different, and we've decided we're going to play on this little ridge just overseeing the middle valley. Also gives us the opportunity to keep an eye on the left hand side if anything pokes the ridge opposite. Like you can see here, we can see this CS that's just decided to go sort of YOLOing out into the middle. Just got behind that building. We're just trying to try and see if he pokes, see if we can get the kill shot in. And he's just got behind those rocks, so he got quite lucky there. But we put him down to pretty much a one shot there. He's definitely a one shot to us if he pokes. So we're keeping an eye on him. We got 2 shells in, and this thing, you know, is about 550 alpha on each shell. So you can absolutely delete a tank. Mediums and lights will easily get deleted with this tank. Some TDs as well, and you can obviously, with heavy tanks, put them down to a one shot as well. So it's actually quite a fun tank. I started playing this probably about a month ago, just for something different, just fancied playing it, and then I sort of realised, I was like, wow, that interclip is because I've had this for a number of years, but I've not really played it. It's not really been my sort of tank, because obviously it's quite awkward to play. I've never really sort of just haven't really clicked with it, I guess, but playing it over the last few weeks, it's been so much fun, and it's so easy to rack up the damage. It really is. Like say, you've got the potential of 2,000 to 2,200 in one clip, and if you can dump that clip, it's so satisfying. Really is. And we managed to get the kill there on that CS, and now we're just, I'm just sort of keeping an eye on the mini-map here. I'm just sort of seeing where we can potentially get shots off, and the majority of the team is up on the right-hand flank here, which isn't unusual in an encounter. And we do get lit up here. Like I say, the waffle has absolutely abysmal camo because of the size of it. So this is what I'm talking about, is using the terrain to your advantage, getting tucked in behind house, and this is what we're doing. Reload's nearly off here. We've got shots on the side of this MBT. He's not facing us, and we're going to dump our clip, set him on fire, and we managed to get our second kill again. Something did shoot us, but it was worth the trade. And I was quite happy to take that hit to be able to take out that MBT. And now I'm going straight on reload here, tucking behind this building. I'm asking my team for help because obviously, it'd be nice for my team to try and get some spots so I can kind of make a decision on who I'm going to poke out on and dump my shots into. But that doesn't seem to be happening at the moment, and I'm trying to see if my team will help. But there we poke out, and unfortunately we kind of screwed up there. We took a huge shot from the T95. We just hung out too long, and that's the problem, because we didn't really know what was behind there. We couldn't actually see and make a decision on what we could poke out, get shots into without taking any damage in return. Tried getting a shot into that G-saw as that G-saw was crossing. We just, unfortunately we couldn't get the shot off there. Wasn't much area to lead the shot. We're poking out. We're trying to see if we can bait shots. We do get a shot into that MBT that just over poked there. Now we see this G-saw swinging around, and we get our last shell into him, putting him down to a one shot. And now I'm getting my reload off here. And I'm just hoping that this G-saw can actually go down, because this guy is going to be an absolute pain in the backside if he stays alive. Also, he has the potential to sort of swing around and get some shots into me while someone reloads. So, I kind of don't really want that guy ruining the pie. We can see this heavy tank sort of floating around near us. It's a Highlander. So there we go. I've got my reload off. I'm going to poke because he was kind of distracted. He did get a shot into us, but we managed to take him out for our fourth kill. We're up to 5.3k damage. Again, I was happy to take that trade. Yes, we're on 77 hit points of damage, of health, which isn't ideal, but to get the Highlander out of that position and try and even up the numbers, I was happy to do it. I'm crossing now because I kind of know that the enemies are sort of all up on the top there, and I felt confident that I could make that cross without being detected or being shot at. Now we've been lit up, which I assume is that Manticore, and there's something targeting us. We think I thought it could have been that T95, but the game's swinging away a little bit. We're down. We're only on 5 tanks now. Now we see this light tank coming over. We thought he was going to carry on driving, and he just jukes us. However, we do manage to get a shot in, but unfortunately we didn't see the S-Bahn coming round the corner there, and he takes us out. And unfortunately, that now leaves our team down to 3 tanks against 5 enemies, and 4 of those are TDs. So the game could have been winnable. Unfortunately, we'd just taken a bit too much damage. Where we sort of the issue we had is being behind that house. We couldn't. We poked out too long really, and that that shot of that T95 kind of that wasn't a great trade. We did screw up a little bit there. But anyway, it's just one of those things that is the difficult part of playing the waffle is like I say, those trades, knowing when to and when not to trade, or basically poking and when to poke. So there we go. Unfortunately, we didn't win the game. We did lose it, but we got respectable 5 kills and 5.7k damage. We didn't pick up any medals there, but we did come top of the board. So we tried. We put in a bit of an effort there, but unfortunately, we just didn't have enough to see it through. But we'll go on to the third replay and see how we got on there. Okay, so we're on the third and final replay, and we're platooned up with our body Crucifix, who's in the S-bomb, and we're on Sunset Coast. So yeah, it's again, Sunset Coast, well, it's not too bad, to be fair. There's a lot of places where you can sort of tuck yourself in. We're initially going over to the left hand side because we want to see if we can potentially get shots down the B line or into the middle with tanks crossing in that middle section, or trying to get shots onto our into areas where we're crossing. So it's yeah, we're just sort of playing the normal routes of trying to catch people out here, and we're now reloaded, so we can sort of try and get a shot off if we can. We're keeping an eye on this left hand side. We've seen there's a few tanks that have appeared, so we're going to chance it and just try and see if we can take advantage of that. See another tank that's popped up in the middle there, but unfortunately we don't have any shots. Then we see another one. We're just trying to see, just looking for opportunities here, but doesn't seem like any are going to present themselves, so we're going to carry on here. One downside, the waffle is obviously going uphill. It's a monumental struggle. This thing isn't fast, hence why I put the traction system on. Obviously you can't put the gun rammer, sorry, you can't put a gun rammer on an autoloader, so that's why I went for the traction system. I mean, you could go for vents if you wanted to, but I just find you know, on tank as slow as this, it's good. It's better to go for the mobility. So you've got the extra traction. You can move a little bit quicker, and also obviously get into those areas of cover quicker. So at this point, I decided I was going to move back. However, we see this M103 that was out in the open. We tried getting a tracking shot in, but unfortunately we can only get 2 shots in. But it picks us up 1200 damage. I'm still sort of keeping an eye to see if I can potentially put these 2 shells into an enemy tank. We're leaving this position now because I've kind of seen that we're getting a little bit not overrun, but it's kind of, there's not many there's no areas that no tanks that are presenting themselves basically to us on that side. So I said to my buddy Crucifix that I'm going to move out of there now. I just thought if I was just poking, I was just going to get lit up and probably just shredded to pieces. So I figured this side was a little bit better. I could see there was some more tanks coming that were going to give us an opportunity to get some shots in. And we need to try and get rid of some tanks because the enemy have taken out a couple of our tanks quite in quick succession. As you can see, we've got 5 degrees of gun depression on this gun, so it is a bit awkward to get the gun down. It's not like Mini Waffle where you can sort of get a bit more hanging over the back and stuff. But yeah, it's a bit of a struggle, so we have to kind of just work with the terrain as well. We did manage to dump 3 out of our 4 shells into that MBT that was sitting on the hill there, so that was quite nice. And like I say, I'm just using this rock as cover for the left hand side of me. There's nothing predominantly in the middle that's lighting us up or causing us any issues. So yeah, I'm sort of feeling quite safe at this point. I'm just going to wait to get my reload off, and then I'm popping up same position again, try getting a shot on that S-Conk, but unfortunately he just ducks down a little bit and we aren't able to get the shot on. Now I see this Ruthless in front of me, and yeah, I think I'm sort of half tempted. I kind of, well, at this point I'm trying not to drive into a rock, which seemed to be hopelessly failing in that sense. We get another shot into that MBT there. We're just going to try and finish him off. Tried chancing the shot into his turret, but unfortunately we just leave him on a 1 shot and we're going for the full reload. My buddy Crucifix is over here now, and I think he was initially going to try and see if he could get a shot into that Ruthless. I'm still sort of sitting up here because I'm thinking there may be potential to get more shots into that middle. However, nothing's lit at the moment, so I think I've got my reload off, and now I'm just sort of wondering what the next play is. But we see this S-Barn who's just lit me up, and now I'm sort of I'm getting a bit panicky here because he's gone in for Crucifix and he's absolutely battered him, leaving him on 15 hit points. I'm sort of rushing in now because I want to help. I want to help Crucifix, but also I don't want this guy to stay alive, because if this S-Barn gets rid of Crucifix and by some sort of miracle chance manages to get a line of sight on me, he is going to have an absolute field day going through my turret with Hesh. So yeah, he's poking up again. I think he's going to try and get a shot into Steve. He fluffs his shot, and we managed to get a shot into the back of him. Now we're going to finish him off there and get rid of that threat. So between me and Crucifix, we done a nice job on that guy. Now I'm getting a reload off here, but I'm a little bit worried. My 6 senses off and being targeted. I'm not entirely sure where it's coming from. I've still got full hit points at this point, so to get 5.3k damage and still be full health, I'm quite pleased with that result, because I've not had to trade any shots for anything, and I've got a decent amount of health, or I've managed to harvest a decent amount of hit points for nothing really. I'm not trading anything, so this is good. So at this point I was sort of thinking I'm going to go down this right, and I'm going to try and flank if I can. Now I hit the rock, and this Ruthless looking at me, and I'm like, oh Christ, I'm going to die here. No, I mean, he's just sort of like taking off half our health. Crucifix goes down to the Avery, but that's the thing. We had all our hit points, and we could trade there with a Ruthless, and we managed to take that Ruthless out for our second kill, and we're up to 7.3k damage now. So that was actually quite a good result, and lucky that we had the hit points to trade for that. Unfortunately, the MBT gets a shot into us. So if he was firing, I think he was firing HE, because that didn't look like a full pen there. I could be wrong. No, it was HE. Yeah, it was HE, and done about 200 damage. So there we go. You see what I say about that armor on the turret. We get lit there, and we think it's something come around the side here, and yes, it was the Avery, and luckily we managed to hit that Avery before he hit us. If that Avery hit us, that would have been night-night. So we swung that gun round and managed to get a shot in. I was quite lucky with that. I was really pleased with being able to get that shot in. This Emil comes charging around. Now we probably could have aimed that shot a little bit better. He does get a shot into us, but luckily we had 3 in a clip, and we bounced one, but we had another one to plonk into him. There's only 1 tank left, so we were going to try and go around, but luckily our friendly light tank managed to take him out, and that brings us an end to the replay. So there we go, come top of the board with 4 kills and 8.1k damage. No assists, real nice result. Only the first class there. I think maybe a few more kills could have got us the ace, but unfortunately it wasn't meant to be. But that was my highest damage game in the waffle so far. So I was quite pleased with that outcome. And so there we go, guys. That's it for the video. So until next time, take care.